Medieval music is having a moment right now. If you want to start playing this beautiful music, but you're not sure where to begin, I've got everything you need. Let's go. And yes, I am going to get into instruments towards the end of the video. This whole video was actually inspired by this book. It's Pan's Musical Companion by Robin Alexander Lucas. He sent me 2 copies to have a look at and I was completely enchanted. It's a whole book of medieval repertoire, vocal repertoire, instrumental, there's dances, there's songs in 1 and in 2 parts, and it's just so lovely. The interesting thing is it's scored for alto recorder rather than soprano. Of course, you can still play it on a soprano, it will just sound a bit higher. What I really like is that in each section there's a whole load of information, for example, about instrumental dance tunes, so you can really learn about what you're playing. And the whole book is just filled with these gorgeous illustrations. This book has 105 tunes spanning 5 centuries from the 10th century onwards, and there's music from England, France, Italy and Spain. This is a real treasure trove. So Pan's Musical Companion is my new favourite. My kind of all-time constant favourite has been the Medieval Dance Collection by Hawthorne's Music. I just want to mention it one more time. You see that my copy has completely fallen apart, so much so that when I last saw them at an early music festival, they gave me a new book. This is specifically medieval dances, which work really nicely because they were, of course, instrumental, whereas Pan's Musical Companion contains a lot of vocal music and song. I would say the range of these pieces would fit an instrument in C a little bit better. So if you only play the soprano or the tenor, you might want to go for this one. By the way, this Saturday, 21st of March, is International Early Music Day. This is organised by REMA, the European Network for Early Music, and I'm super honoured to announce that I am one of the European ambassadors for early music 2026 alongside the incredible Lucy Horsch. Lucy and I got together to have a panel discussion with Albert Edelman from the Baroque Orchestra, and this is going to be premiering here on my YouTube channel this Saturday at 12 noon Amsterdam time. If you miss it, don't worry because it's going to stay up, but please come and get involved, hear what early music means to us, how we're going to make it keep happening throughout Europe, and yeah. Okay, on with the medieval music. Please let me show you my new obsession. Instruments of the Middle Ages and the Renaissance by David Munro. This is a very well-known book, but it's the first time I really spend a lot of time with it. It was published in 1976 and it's really about the instruments. Now, David Munro was an early music hero. He played all of the different instruments. He did so much great research and recordings, and sadly he passed away. So he's not still here with us to regale us with the tales of early music. Look, there he is playing a cutout. Look at this. This is a gentleman playing the extended great bass recorder housed at the Museum of Musical Instruments in Brussels. He's standing on a radiator. But Sarah, how can we hear how these instruments sounded from a mere book? I hear you cry. Not to worry, because there is an accompanying album. I'm ashamed to say I don't own this album yet. I've been listening to it on a streaming service, but it's so charming. David Munro and the ensemble go through a wealth of the instruments that are in this book and demonstrate how they sound. I just love the recorder's track. It's with bells as well, and it has inspired me. Can I just read you something? There is a foreword by Andre Previn, and it's just hilarious. He talks about David Munro. And he says, he is possessed of an acerbic wit, is a popular broadcaster, tells a great anecdote, has with it all the face of a slightly immoral schoolboy, and finally, is shorter than I am, a statistic I cherish. In the early music world, we tend to have a sense of humour. While I'm talking about recordings, there are 2 more that have meant a great deal to me. The first is the first is the Dufay Collective All'Estampida. This is a CD of instrumental medieval dance music. Nowadays, if I play the tracks on YouTube, I tend to get like a copyright strike, but I want you to go to this album and listen to the final Saltarello. It opens with Shawms, I think. Just like that. It's wild. It truly makes me feel wild, and I just love it so much. It shows that, yeah, there's so much life in medieval music. Another album I love is called Alchemy by the Askew Band. Emily Askew I got to know as a recorder player in the early music world, and then we ran into each other again at Whitby Folk Week and found out we were both folkies. So this album is really a crossover of early music and folk, and let me tell you, those genres do cross over. It's just beautiful. Emily sings, she plays recorder, she plays VL in a band. Recently in the Netherlands, it snowed for quite a long time, and I spent that whole time just walking around listening to this album. Yeah, so if it's snowing where you are, it's good snow music. Well, that was scholarly. The next thing I'm going to show you is not authentic medieval, but it is excellent. It's something I coveted for a long time, and I finally have it in my hands. The Medieval Pedal by Teenage Engineering. This is medieval electronics. It's a sequencer, a sampler, a pedal. You can record things into it. You can make your own beats. This is what I have made so far. It's not good yet. It has hundreds of inbuilt sounds, from sound effects I'm sorry, I was going to play a tune, but I found the horse sounds. There is so much that this can do that I have not quite learnt yet, but it's going to be a lot of fun. The reason it's taking me quite a while to figure out all the details of this thing is that a lot of the instructions are in Latin. I did not go to a fancy school where we learnt stuff like Latin, so it's going to take me a bit of a while. It's alright though. I like to learn. And I did say I'm going to talk about instruments. It's not authentic medieval, but it does give a bit of a broader sound while still having those same Baroque fingerings that we're familiar with, the Mollenhauer Dream Recorders. They're just a little bit broader, a little bit, you can make it a bit more rough around the edges than a typical Baroque recorder. That would sound like there's no reason that medieval music should sound rough. That's not what I'm trying to say, but it puts me in a bit of a different state of mind to play this instrument. This is the wooden version, but the sopranos also come in plastic, which will be your lowest price point. So if you're looking for something just to dip your tiniest toe into the waters, this could be a nice place to start. You have the handmade medieval wooden recorders by the English builder Terry Mann. He makes medieval and Renaissance wind instruments, recorders and flutes, but they are surprisingly affordable. I'm sure after this video the price is going to go up because Terry is a great maker. He is always at the early music festivals I'm at, and he is not known enough, so I'm going to link his website down below. Also pipe and tabor instruments, which I learned from David Munro's book that even though a pipe and tabor instrument only has 3 holes, it has a range of an octave and a fourth. I did not know that. Finally, if you're looking for a top-line professional instrument, well known in medieval recorders is Monica Mush. I actually don't own any of her instruments, but we have a beautiful medieval tenor of hers at the Royal College of Music that my students can play with. Her instruments are just beautiful. I see my colleagues ordering them all the time. I think at the moment waiting time is about 18 months because she makes them by hand to order. yeah, this video is making me feel covetous. So check those out. And of course, I have my Levergy medieval double recorder. Whole video here on Team Recorder about medieval double flutes, also where they come from, double flutes in different cultures and countries, so do check it out. But I love this so much. Even though I'm showing you these very specialized instruments, you don't have to have one to enjoy medieval music. Even if you have a completely normal recorder, a plastic instrument, it's absolutely fine. You can start playing medieval music today. I think there's something so special about music that has survived 1,000 years or even more. This music has seen so much of human history and it's still here. So play it on whatever recorder you've got, play it on a keyboard, you can sing it, you can do it however you like. But I promise you, if you get into medieval music, you're going to be completely enchanted. If you have other recommendations, please put them in the comments. I'll put links to everything here in the description. As always, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking on my face down here. Over here's the Team Recorder Patreon, where you can join our little community that really supports the channel. And soon we're going to start a Team Recorder musical book club, so come and get involved. And here's some more videos about medieval music. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.